Pretty much essential on Mother's Day. A lot of Australians are being urged to support local businesses. So instead of at the last minute grabbing a bunch of flowers from the service station or from the supermarket, instead we need to look after our local florists and support Australian businesses. We know too well they need our help now more than ever. To tell us more, Gregory Milner is the president of the Australian Association of Floral Designers. Hello, Greg.
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
Good, thank you. Apologise, just one moment. How's the industry cope during COVID-19?
Well, during these difficult times, it's been very interesting because the flower industry was in sort of two areas. We had local growers that were becoming less and less in time due to the imports that were coming into the country. And primarily you had sort of service stations, supermarkets that were stocking primarily imported flowers rather than local. Now, given the COVID situation, local is what's available. And I think it's great. You know, we've had the bushfires, now we've got COVID, and it's really a case of the growers were really struggling and the industry wanted local supply, and now they've got it. And I think, I suppose I'm going to say very fortunately in one way, Mother's Day is around the corner, and some of the growers are finding, gosh, there's such a supply of flowers that they need to have. And at the beginning of the COVID, some of them actually didn't plant because of the expense, not knowing whether they were going to sell their product or not. And in hindsight, some that made that decision wasn't a great one, but we don't have a crystal ball. So it's great to support the local florists, great to support the local growers, and therefore supporting the local community.
So I suppose, yes, it was impossible for them to predict, and I imagine the biggest hit has come from losing the business at venues, which would have decorated with flowers and for weddings and big events like that. I mean, that must have been quite a blow to the industry.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it was literally a case of one phone call after another with regard to my weddings being cancelled. Florists that may have spent hours actually with brides, and often that is the case over a period of time leading up to the wedding. No, it's all off. So any florists florists involved with weddings, they've lost that market for the moment. If they're involved with the corporate work, so that's office decorating, that has literally pretty much ceased. But general floristry, because you can order online, and again I'm saying go to your local florist when you're ordering online, know who you're dealing with. And they are actually doing well at the moment because they can deliver door to door. So that's avoiding the COVID situation in that regard.
And a florist would have been in the category of I wouldn't have been sure whether they would remain open because we just had in our heads essential services only. But so florists have remained open throughout this lockdown period.
Some have and some haven't. It's a matter of what size their store is, and they're looking at their spacing within the store. And I think also with Mother's Day coming up, the ones that are opening their doors are very cautious because they'll literally have someone on the door, if they can, controlling who comes in and who goes out, because obviously you can't have a shop full of people, and they have to space along the footpath. I would strongly recommend that they do look at online, because most florists today, whether it's through their website, whether it's through Instagram and so forth, they've got their products on display, and you can talk to them obviously too. But I would probably avoid, just with regard to our social distancing, if there's crowds going to shops, it's going to make it very difficult for the trader. So, try to keep it more online if you can, and try to organise delivery. And that's working for the industry.
With most of the flowers, I understand there's, the occasional exotic imported flower, but with most of the flowers sold in our local florists, where are they grown?
Well, a lot of the roses were coming in from Colombia, they were coming in from Kenya, and with the imported flowers coming through, it was a case of, well, is it a local grower or is it an import? And some of the larger dealers, particularly with the supermarket, preferred to deal with the overseas market. And, I mean, basically 10 years ago we had over 100 rose growers. Now I think in the country, actually I think it's within the state, it's under 20. So it's been a declining market because of the demand. And most florists will try to support their local. So that's, I'm just reiterating really what I said earlier. I think it's important for people, given the problems that we have at the moment, and with unemployment, with all the businesses struggling. The more we support ourselves, our local market, the strength of recovery will be stronger, of course.
Of course. And Gregory, I know you've had many years in the industry. You've written a book, The Skill of Flower Arranging. What would you suggest giving for Mother's Day? What's good at this time of year?
Okay. Is that a lead-in to promote the book first, or are we talking about general flowers?
Bit of both.
my sixth book, actually, but it's the largest one that I've written, and it's got 1,200 photographs in it as well as how-to. So it's a big book. And it's available, obviously online. And of course the bookstores have it, but it's a matter of whether they're open or not. With regard to flowers for Mother's Day, I'd really say look at things that, roses are always gorgeous, but look at things that have a good lifespan as well. Roses, you're going to get a good week to 10 days if they're good quality, and the locals are. But, we actually do grow exotic flowers like anthuriums. They're grown down at Phillip Island. We've got all sorts of ranges of flowers, and a good website or a good Instagram is going to show a really good range. And then I'd say, talk to the florist. Might be on the phone, but, have a chat, and they'll recommend what will suit the best needs for Mum for Mother's Day.
Well, lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for your advice there. That's Gregory Milner, who's from the Australian Association of Floral Designers. So what are you planning for Mother's Day? Are you going to be buying some flowers? As Gregory has suggested there, it's best to order them online, but they then can be delivered to the door. Nobody's ever going to hate getting flowers, I can promise you that. Well, if you hate flowers, I'll take your calls too. 96900 693 13 13 32. Nobody hates flowers, surely. Hello, Mark.
If anyone hated flowers, you should just disconnect their call straight away.
Poke them in the eyes, you reckon?
Do all that sort of stuff. It's just not good taste. Hey, Dee, I totally agree with what you guys are saying. I've got a little food shop in the Dandenongs, and business is down, 90% because of what's going on. And I drive past a flower grower in Seville every day to pick up fresh strawberries, and they've had their flowers out the front of their big commercial enterprise because they can't sell them. And I've been buying them to support them, to put some colour outside of my shop. They grow liliums, and they are gorgeous. They are just gorgeous. Why would you not buy Australian? They're just beautiful.
It's just a simple thing, isn't it, that can brighten your day. I think flowers can sometimes be a little bit expensive and they don't last forever, but there's something about flowers that just lifts the spirits, I think, especially as we're going into winter and there's less growing in the gardens. Thank you, Mark. Hi, Helen.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm just ringing to let you know, I just heard that chat about the Dandenongs. In Sylvan, they have tulips already picked for $5 a bunch, and they do deliver.
Perfect, and they grow beautiful tulips in that area, don't they?
Yeah, I've never seen so many colours. I've just been on Facebook and had a look at them, and I wouldn't even bother going to a florist. I'd rather drive up the Dandenongs. I'm sure they'd let you through there and get some tulips.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. Good tip there, Helen. Yeah, they're among the best in the world. I think the Dutch will probably try and fight us on that, but our tulips grown at Sylvan certainly can be among the best in the world. Hi, Ivan.
Hi, Dee. How are you?
Good, thank you. What's on your mind?
You were talking about foxtel earlier in the afternoon.
Yep.
My biggest beef with foxtel, I've just gone back to them, I'm reconsidering that decision, is when you find a